Long-awaited insolvency laws are expected to contain provisions for corporate bankruptcy modeled on Chapter 11 proceedings in the U.S., according to a government official quoted in local reports. Fahad Al-Raqbani, the Director General of Abu Dhabi Council for Economic Development, said that the upcoming insolvency law will incorporate or introduce a corporate bankruptcy procedure similar to the U.S. Chapter 11 bankruptcy process. Chapter 11 proceedings allow companies to renegotiate the terms of their debts with creditors. The insolvency law was passed by the cabinet in July. It now needs the ratification of the Consultative Federal National Council and the Supreme Council, the country's senior most legislative body. It is expected to contain provisions to decriminalize bouncing checks as well as facilitating large corporate bankruptcies. DP World may make a return to Russia after the company's chairman met the Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss investing in the country's remote Far East region. Speaking at the meeting in Vladivostok, a local report stated that Putin mandated the Deputy Prime Minister and the Transport Minister to provide the Dubai-based port operator with investment facilities and remove any hurdles to its potential business operations in the region. In July, the Russian parliament passed a legal framework giving 15 cities near Vladivostok's capital, Primorski, free port status. The move, which offers tax and customs advantages, is aimed at encouraging overseas investment that will enable Vladivostok to compete more effectively with the likes of Hong Kong, which is a long-established free port, and Busan in South Korea. DP World's planned move into Russia would be the latest in a series of global expansions. The company currently operates 65 ports worldwide, including the London Gateway in the UK and Jebel Ali in Dubai. The latest data compiled by the National Bank of Abu Dhabi has shown that government and public sector deposits in the UAE have been declining, while borrowings are on the rise. Outstanding loans in the country, which include all the funds borrowed by private individuals, reached $370 billion in July 2015, recording a 10% rise year-on-year. The amount of government deposits dropped by 6.2% year-on-year, while some banks are seeing customer deposits falling by 3%. However, a key measure of banks' liquidity, known as loan-to-deposit ratio, is growing, reaching 95% in July this year compared to 87% in June 2014. According to senior economists at NBAD, all these key figures indicate that economic activity in the country is not as strong as it used to be. Liquidity at banks, however, is not yet a cause for concern. Quoting the latest central bank data, the report by NBAD noted that government and public sector deposits declined to 346 billion dirhams in July 2015, down by 11% year-on-year, with government deposits dropping by 16% to 163.2 billion dirhams. In the second quarter of the year, NBAD deposits dropped 230 billion dirhams, or a 3.1% year-on-year decline. An exclusive panel discussion entitled Simplicity Talks, hosted by brand consultancy Siegel & Gale, is set to be held in Dubai, where industry leaders and branding specialists will be exploring how simplicity can help companies break through markets in the Middle East. The panel will discuss various topics in relation to developing and maintaining the strength of a local brand for success on a global scale. Speakers at the panel will also provide insightful information derived from the findings of the S&G annual study, the Global Brand Simplicity Index, which have shown that simpler brands garner greater customer loyalty, foster innovation among employees, and increase revenue.
So Siegel & Gale is the simplicity company, and as a global brand consultancy, we talk to a lot of clients and organizations about their ambitions and visions for their brands and how we can help them achieve these through simplicity. And through these discussions, we felt there was a need to share the insights with a wider audience in a panel discussion series, which we called Simplicity Talks. We launched these in London 3 years ago and have been running them in Dubai and London since. We had an event earlier this year in March, and we invite industry experts to share their thoughts and insights focused on specific topics. Tomorrow's topic will be very much focused on the global key success factors for local Middle Eastern brands to establish themselves on the global market and achieve global success. With simplicity, we mean to focus on clarity, to really understand what your core difference is in the market and what you deliver and over your competitors, and to communicate that holistically, consistently through the brand experience at every consumer touchpoints. Middle Eastern brands need to clearly understand what they bring to the market, have a clear understanding what their point of difference is, and communicate that very clearly and holistically through their experience. So understanding what their brand purpose is, why they do what they do, and what is their bigger role in the world and what they bring to the world. But then bringing this to the market with a clear and concise message is absolutely key.
This year's study by Siegel and Gale was based on an online survey of more than 12,000 respondents across 8 countries, ranking 585 brands by their perceived simplicity. Google has once again topped the list as the ME's simplest brand, while the locally based online retail website souk.com jumped up 41 spots, landing just outside the top 10 at number 13. High at number 5 on the Middle East Simplicity Index was Panda retail chain, leaping 22 spots. Fly Dubai was also among the local climbers, up 31 places from the 2013 GBSI to number 40. At number 3 for the second year, Samsung is benefiting from increased internet penetration and the continuous rollout of sleek devices like Galaxy smartphones, beating Apple's iPhone for the second year running. According to Christian Turner, the group director of naming, which is part of S&G Services, a brand's name can go a long way in achieving global success.
In some situations, it's easy to describe what a company does, but as companies have ambitions and they move between markets and cover more regions, as they diversify what they're doing, sometimes it's very hard to describe what a company does, and they have an entirely different naming need. They're trapped in a name that no longer describes exactly what they do. Microsoft is for microcomputing software, right? I mean, that's not really what we think of them now. They're Xbox and Windows. So I think sometimes the companies have to evolve, or they're trying to they have a new product that greatly outstrips what the old product does, and they really want to get that communication point right. A name goes everywhere that the brand does, right? And it's in conversation. If I recommend something to you, I'm using the name. If I work for a company and I'm a salesperson, I come and I shake your hand, I say, hi, I'm here from this company, that name comes to stand for the rest of the experience. So it's something not to be done lightly, and I think too often people assume that they can just do it as a matter of brainstorming. So let's get everybody together, we'll get in the office and we'll write down a bunch of names and see whether or not they work. And it's really a much more strategic exercise than that. Certainly from a simplicity angle, you want to get a simple idea and express it in an interesting way that all of your audiences find compelling.